Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the 2007 Nobel Prize in Physics. I chose this topic because it shows how advances in physics can directly impact everyday technology. The prize was awarded for the discovery of giant magnetoresistance, often called GMR. At first, this may sound difficult, but the idea is actually quite simple. Magnetoresistance refers to the change in electrical resistance when a magnetic field is applied. Scientists discovered that in certain layered materials, this effect becomes extremely large. This phenomenon is called giant magnetoresistance. Why is this important? Because it made it possible to read very small magnetic signals with high precision. This had a huge impact on data storage technology. For example, hard disk drives store information using tiny magnetic regions. Before GMR, it was difficult to read these signals accurately when they became very small. However, GMR sensors allowed much more sensitive detection. As a result, the storage capacity of hard drives increased dramatically. This means that we can store more data in smaller devices. I find this discovery very fascinating. It shows how fundamental physics can lead to practical innovations. It also teaches us that improving measurement accuracy can change entire industries. In the future, similar technologies may lead to even more advanced data storage and electronic devices. Even though this topic may seem technical, it gives us an important message. Better ways of reading information can transform the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the 2007 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. I chose this topic because it shows how important surfaces are in chemical reactions. The prize was awarded for studies of chemical processes on solid surfaces. At first, this may sound simple, but it is actually very important. Many chemical reactions do not happen in empty space. Instead, they occur on surfaces. For example, reactions in car exhaust systems happen on the surface of catalysts. These catalysts help reduce harmful gases. Scientists discovered how atoms and molecules behave on these surfaces. They studied how molecules attach, move, and react. This understanding made it possible to design better catalysts. Better catalysts can make reactions faster and more efficient. They can also reduce waste and energy use. This has a major impact on industry. For example, it improves fuel production and environmental protection. I find this discovery very fascinating. It shows that the location of a reaction is just as important as the reaction itself. It also teaches us that small-scale interactions can affect large systems. In the future, this knowledge may help us create cleaner energy and more efficient technologies. Even though this topic may seem technical, it gives us an important message. Where something happens can be just as important as what happens. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the 2007 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. I chose this topic because it shows how scientists can study the role of specific genes in a living animal. The prize was awarded for the principles for introducing specific gene modifications in mice by the use of embryonic stem cells. At first, this may sound complicated, but the basic idea is very clear. In order to understand what a gene does, scientists need a way to change that gene and observe the result. Mice are especially useful for this purpose because their bodies and genes share many similarities with those of humans. Scientists developed a method using embryonic stem cells, which can develop into many kinds of cells in the body. By working with these cells, they were able to introduce specific changes into particular genes. These modified cells were then used to produce mice carrying the desired genetic alteration. This was a major breakthrough. It made it possible to create mice in which one selected gene was removed, changed, or disabled. Such animals are often called knockout mice. By studying these mice, scientists could discover what happens when a certain gene no longer works normally. This gave researchers a powerful way to investigate development, body functions, and disease. For example, they could study genes related to cancer, immunity, metabolism, and brain function. This discovery was extremely important. It turned mice into a precise experimental model for understanding the function of individual genes in living organisms. It also helped scientists connect specific genes with specific diseases. As a result, medical research became much more accurate and effective. I find this discovery very fascinating. It shows that understanding life requires more than simply observing it from the outside. Sometimes we learn the most by changing one part of a system and carefully studying the consequences. In the future, this knowledge may help scientists develop better treatments by identifying the exact genes involved in disease. Even though this topic may seem advanced, it gives us an important message. To understand life deeply, we must be able to test the function of its individual parts. Thank you.